Раз, два, три. Так, на ВК-плей вроде пошло. Ну, звук есть. Раз, два, три. Так, YouTube. А, все. Звук есть, все идет. Все пока что работает. Всем привет, друзья. С вами канал ALEKS.SPb. Я ведущий Алексей. Продолжаем скрывать тела. Мы в прошлый раз на том стриме здесь остановились. Сейчас продолжим. Маленечко поработаем патологоанатомом. Так, опять что-то настройки какие-то мне не понравились. Здесь вроде ничего не поменялось. Давайте персонажа уберем. Так вот. И эффект уберем. Тоже на 60 поставим. Ну что, снять труп с одежды.
The deceased was found, but one shoe is missing. I'm going to need the camera to document all possible suspicious marks.
Так, мне понадобится камера для фиксации. Взять камеру из ящика стола. А, где моя камера? Кстати, блядь.
Definitely the first thing that stands out is the very advanced post-mortem gigantism. The skin of the deceased appears very delicate, smooth, and relaxed from being in the water for a long time. The whole body is extremely pale. It's likely that the deceased was lying on her back when she was fished out.
Здесь какая-то рана.
There are bruises and hemorrhages on the neck. These usually occur due to increased inhalation when fighting to breathe underwater.
Вот еще. А вот она.
Post-mortem markings are seen on the underside of the body. That is, on the back, thighs, and calves of the deceased.
Где-то на ноге было. Сейчас, секундочку. О, на пятке.
The so-called washerwoman's skin on the feet. The deceased had indeed been in the water for a long time.
Вот на руке.
The skin on the hands can be easily separated from the body. The separation takes the form of a glove.
Перчатки. Где еще где-то? Еще где-то одно. Но у него нету глаза. Чего он глаз не сфоткает?
There are some obvious scratches on the skin.
Так, готово. Ну, кстати, у меня нету камеры.
So, after the preliminary exam, it's time to take a closer look at this.
Настало привести вскрытие. Понятно.
Today's date. The deceased was clothed. Rigor mortis does not need to be checked. Based on the state of decay, you can be sure it has subsided.
Более-менее трупное окоченение спало. Так.
Where to start? The spots have a purplish blue-red hue, which is a typical sign of the death of the organism.
Угу.
There are obvious scratches on the skin, especially on the back and hands. These could be defensive wounds, evidence of some sort of altercation prior to death.
Да, драки. Короче, боролись с ней.
Yep, pretty typical. Liver mortis are formed as a result of putrefaction of blood in the veins. We see thick, white foam in the mouth of the deceased, resulting from pulmonary edema. Foam is a characteristic in deaths due to drowning.
Угу. Утопление.
No obvious signs of struggle. The skin on the hands would have easily peeled away from the flesh. Some of the fingers have already lost their nails.
Ногтей недостаточно. Всем привет, всем здорово, парень.
Due to the fact that the deceased was wearing shoes all the time, her feet are in better condition than her hands. Nevertheless, we can still notice a clear, wavy skin and the so-called washerwoman's skin texture.
Ну, она в воде
Okay,
пролежала 2 недели,
that's probably
естественно,
enough to
будет
indicate
она.
a direction for further examination.
Так, планшет. Ты куда ты планшет?
I'd better note that down in the records. Diffuse spot. There doesn't seem to be anything unusual about this liver. Marks found on the neck and foaming. Those abrasions appear. Hands heavily wrinkled from considering the deceased's penchant for drinking alcohol. It could have been a mere accident.
Ярко выражен посмотри, гематом и фиолетовый. Сними. Нихуя там прям пиздеть, блять.
Liver mortis of a different color could indicate poisoning with carbon monoxide. Their distributions, in this case, the question is, maybe it's just fortunately, a simple trip, loss of balance, and as a result, you end up in it. Before I begin the dissection, I'll make sure the suggested identity is correct. The suitcase with the fingerprint equipment should be around here somewhere.
Возьмите из чемоданчика. Из какого чемоданчика? У меня есть какой-то чемоданчик.
Scalpel, scissors, syringe, magnifying glass, knife. I guess I forgot to clean the knife.
Короче, у меня... вот, у меня есть
Here it is.
чемоданчик.
The fingerprint sheet should always be checked. Slipping fingers, too much or too little ink, or inaccurate hand position can make fingerprints illegible.
Угу.
With decomposing bodies, the tissue of the pads of the fingers tends to shrink. If the body of the deceased is well preserved, fingerprinting is similar to that of a living person.
Есть. Так. Пойдемте дальше. Посмотрим.
I'm going to conduct a dactyloscopic examination. If in fact the deceased is in the police database, I will find her. Glycerin is injected successively between the nail and the skin of each finger. The substance then enters the fingertip, removing shrinkage and wrinkles.
Угу. А это вот так вот, да, делается? Короче, это вот так вот делается. Вводится какая-то штука, и у тебя появляются отпечатки пальцев. Ага. Этим я еще не занимался, кстати. В этой игре я еще этим не занимался.
Only when the skin is taut and elastic can you use ink. I think it's enough. I'm getting fingerprint samples. In the case of drowning victims, you have to be extremely careful. The skin may fall off the hand like a glove when you take the print.
Угу.
I'll use the fax machine to add the print into the system.
Отправьте отпечаток Стивену с помощью факса. Ага, пошлите. Я где-то факс видел. Факс это у меня там. Нет? У меня здесь нет факса. Блин. Так, отправьте отпечаток Стивену с помощью факса. А факс где? Точно, блядь, он у меня там. Все под рукой должно быть.
Oh, Jesus.
Пойдемте таблетку выпьем. У меня опять какие-то галлюцинации начались.
Huh?
Но сейчас было как-то страшновато. Давайте окно закроем.
Green button and... Once the data uploads, I'll run the prints against the police database on the computer.
Угу. Сравните отпечатки пальцев с теми, которые занесли в базу данных. Еще
Great.
это должен сделать.
Data is there. Click upload. Now, go through the database and find a matching print. Expect possible hours of fun.
Чего, блядь? А, так это не тот. Нет, это не похож. Вот этот похож, да? Да, вот этот похож очень. Угу.
One more.
Угу. А, это так делается?
Analyze
Я просто
button.
первый раз это делаю.
And we have a result.
Совпадение найдено. Ага.
Everyone has a story to tell, even if it's just a police record. So, as predicted, the deceased turned out to be Harper
Забрать
Lloyd.
результаты из
That went
факса и
smoothly. I'll print
изучить
this out and attach it to the medical records. Great. Now we can go back to my inspection.
Все куда-то выбросил.
I'm adding the name of the deceased.
Так, продолжаем,
I'll start
продолжать.
the internal examination by taking fluid from the victim's brain. A needle inserted through the nose will do the trick. If the victim was alive when she fell into the well, she must have swallowed water fighting for her life, and then diatoms, characteristics of pooled water like a well, got into the body. In the meantime, I'll check the sample under the microscope. I'm sure that these algae traces will be found in the samples taken from the well where police found the body.
Микроскоп
Now I
еще.
need to adjust the knobs properly and place the diatom in the... I won't even notice an army of diatoms from this distance. And it's not a dirty lens, It's not a dirty lens, I'm afraid. But rather a bad focus. Great. This way I'll see if I'm dealing with a large concentration of these The aperture still needs adjustment. The image is too dark. Oh, I'm finally starting to see something here. And perfect. It's not a dirty lens, I'm afraid, but rather a bad focus. And perfect. It's not a dirty lens, I'm afraid, but rather a bad focus. And perfect.
А что мне надо сделать? Что-то рассмотреть бы надо было. Вот чего, блядь.
It's not a dirty lens, I'm afraid, but rather a bad focus. And perfect. Nah, too much light. Oh, I'm finally starting to see something here. I won't even notice an army of diatoms. Great. This way I'll see if I'm dealing with a large concentration of these algae. As expected, we find the aforementioned algae in the solution. Their upper part, Epitheca, which overlaps the lower, Hypotheca, is clearly visible. The presence of diatoms in the brain samples taken indicate that the deceased was certainly alive when she fell into the water and was possibly conscious. Since there were diatoms in the brain, it means that many more of them must have entered the body. Studies of the rest of the organs will most likely confirm this hypothesis. I can finally get to the practical part.
Скальпель, скальпель.
I must be extra careful because the skin of the deceased is very stretched. I wouldn't want an explosion here.
Сейчас, секундочку, парни. Прям вообще секундочку, можно, да? Нет, или нельзя? Ладно.
You can immediately see a very large swelling of the organs. In addition, all internal organs are very congested. I proceed to remove the rib cage. It's easy to see that the ribs have been imprinted in the lungs. So, I'm going to start by drawing blood from the lungs for testing for diatoms. If diatoms were only present in the lungs, this would mean that the victim was placed in the well after death, and the perpetrator wanted to get rid of the corpse in this way. Now, taking the lungs in my hand, I feel that the tissues have lost their elasticity, which is the result of water emphysema. In addition, there is significant swelling of the organs, and as a result, we have a nice imprint of the ribs. The emphysema itself, it's clear how far it's progressed, which is characteristic of drowning. Corpses found in water are worth examining with the tomograph. However, I can't count on such luxuries,
Найди
so
ведро в
I
кладовке
must
для
reach for
проведения
more
теста.
archaic
Какого
technology, a bucket and water.
Да я понял, таблетку надо въебать. Таблеточку надо выпить. Кладовка, это вот это, да?
Ooh, I hope no one dipped a mop in it. It's best to go to the lab for this.
Тест на утопленника.
Historically, the lung float test is used to detect infanticide. The water should be at room temperature.
Тест на утопленника.
To test for this, I have to place the lungs in a container of water. This checks if there is air in the lungs. And speaking of lungs, everything is ready to bring them here.
Пора им поплавать, заебись.
Of course, such a study isn't without flaws. Air may have entered a newborn's airways during resuscitation attempts. Gases released during decomposition could also give up. In this case, however, it's about something else. Namely, the amount of fluid in the lungs. To test for this, I have to place the lungs in a container of water and wait to see if they fall or if they will float on the surface.
Опс. Утонула.
Just as I
Ничего.
assumed, the lungs collapsed easily. Fluid could have entered the lungs during panic attempts to catch breath underwater, but it could also be the result of bacterial infections or cancer, so further investigation is needed. I move on to dissecting the lungs of the deceased.
Ну, с этим я
You
давно.
can hear the distinct, very unpleasant crackling of the tissues being cut through. The parenchyma is remarkably
Хуяк с
pale,
легкой разрезал.
although small hemorrhagic foci and petechia are present on the surface. All right. Now, I will check the collected fluid under a microscope. If we find 20 diatoms on the slide, it can be considered drowning, and our result is not false positive due to possible contaminations. I won't even notice an army of diatoms from this distance. Great. This way I'll see if the aperture still needs adjustment. The image is too dark. Oh, I'm finally starting to see something here. It's not a dirty lens, I'm afraid, and perfect.
Короче, ищем что-то подозрительное. Ого. Нет? Вот тут не оно?
As expected. In solution, the diatoms are clearly visible. There are smaller and larger clusters of them. There will definitely be more than 20 of them.
Так, на ютубе идет стрим. А что у нас на ВК Play? Все работает у нас на ВК Play. Стрим, а что у нас на ВК Play? Да, все работает. Это меня радует. И на ютубе, на ВК Play пока что все работает у нас. Так, продукт проведения вскрытия. Ага.
So far, this case looks pretty standard. It's clear from the beginning that it's drowning. Well, the procedure requires me to check everything anyway. So, I move on to checking the other organs. I ligate the heart, and then remove it for inspection. Strongly developed putrefactic hemolysis, the organ can be seen at first glance. Apart from that, no signs of a heart attack or other heart disease.
Так, сделайте так. Ага. Сердце без признаков болезни, ярко выраженное глинистое. Среднее утопление. Ну, утопление, окей.
I move on to the next organ. This time, it's the liver.
Вот разрыв.
It's immediately apparent that the deceased didn't care for herself. Like most organs, her liver is enlarged and severely congested. The beginnings of cirrhosis are visible in some areas.
Цирроз?
I transfer the organ to a board and proceed to dissect.
Понятно. Печень на доске надо препарировать. Ключ она побухила, да, наверное, чуть-чуть. Да, блять. Да, похуй.
The cross-section clearly shows dilated veins and many small hemorrhagic foci.
Сейчас, секундочку. Посмотрите на печеночку. Какие здесь органы у человека. Представляете, что делается с людьми, когда
I must admit that this is quite a feat,
идет вскрытие.
considering the rather young age of the deceased. Harper enjoyed drinking so much that she might not have lasted a few more years.
Цирроз
I move on to the stomach. I take a sample of the fluid for testing. It looks very turbid. I'll see what happens after spinning, but that's in a moment. Now, I carefully ligate the organ, then cut it off. It's enlarged, probably full of putrid gases. I transfer it to the board and carefully open it, checking the contents.
Yeah. Угу. Я понял, там не надо было отмечать. Ёпта. Понеслась, блять, пизда в рай.
One thing you'd never get used to is how much this desk smells.
Смотрите, как идеально. Почти. Ёпта, ни одного косяка,
The
блядь.
stomach is full of fluid and unidentified organic matter, which is probably leftover food.
Возможно, говорит, это остатки еды.
So let's check the diatoms.
Взять в кабинете записную книжку,
But
где
in a
указаны
centrifuge for a
параметры
change. The problem with examining drowned people is being able to show
диатомии.
whether the death was due to drowning or whether something else contributed to the death. Cramp, heart attack, drugs, homicide, or some accident. Such analysis requires viewing from different angles and a careful interpretation of the collected data, including those from the field. That's why it's so important to collect as many samples as possible.
Да я понял.
Unfortunately. Okay,
Диатомия.
this is one last little sample. Now, set.
N. Диатомий. А вот диатомс. 35 минут, 25%. 35, 25, 20. Время 35, скорость 25. Понятно. Время 35, скорость 25. Диатомий. Да, пойдет такая фигня. Тестируем. Сейчас, блядь, еще вырубит эти самые, наверняка. Или нет? Смотрите-ка, выбило.
Done. I'll run it directly into the chromatograph and run it against the data from the police. I'm certain the analysis will show similarities between the fluid and water in Chelsea's well.
Поместите образец на стойку. Угу. Вот сюда вот, да? Да, вот сюда. Взять пипетку. 3
Let
миллилитра.
me think. 3 milliliters should be fine.
Угу. Да, забыл, 3 миллилитра нам надо.
Okay, now it's the chromatograph's turn. Yes, the water sample matches the one provided by the police. Well, the results are quite clear. I was hoping it would be a more interesting case.
Он надеялся на что-то интересное. Это интересно, на что он надеялся, на что-то интересное, блядь.
More diatoms. Analysis indicates the same origin. Blah, blah, blah. There's little left to do. I'm going to check the airway page. Interesting. Looks like there's something stuck in the trachea. I'm moving to the board for further inspection.
Препарат. Только препари... А, стойте, мне не сюда. Это я вообще сделал. Не вот сюда вот.
I dissect the trachea and open the organ.
Все, я профессионал, нахуй.
Inside, I find a wedding ring. This is
Кольцо.
based on the
Я кольцо
size.
нашел.
I can say that it's a woman's wedding ring, quite standard from the outside. There's an engraving inside.
Внутри гравировка. Нихуя себе. Ну, чего ты не берешь-то?
What the fuck? But this is my ring. Alice's ring. But how did it, but this should be at home. I have it.
Ух, нихуя себе вот этот поворот, блядь.
It's, I have to check this out. Where are my meds? Where the fuck are my meds? I've already taken my pills. Not looking to overdose.
Ну, я уже принял. Чего не засчитал-то?
I've already taken my pills. Not looking to overdose.
И что дальше? Найти таблетки в ванной и...
Jesus Christ! Hope these all make it go away.
Еще раз, что ли? Один раз не помогло, блин.
I have to check the apartment. It can't be. Jesus Christ!
Нихуя у него крыша поехала.
Mr. Ridley. Jesus Christ!
Да как ты так поедешь тут? Сейчас разобьешься, нахуй.
I have to check this out.
О, конец части. Простудился маленько. Насморк.
This.
Это пытается отдать.
This
Это
can't
бред.
be real. Where is it?
Где кольцо?
Where is it?
Где оно?
Where?
Где? Чего проводит?
Please, please, please be there. It's not here. It's not.
Кольца нету.
I need to go. I need to go.
Кольца
This is
нету.
sick. Fuck. Come on, Steven. Pick up the fucking phone.
Возьми гребаную стиль. Как? Что случилось?
They took the
Они
ring!
украли кольцо. Чё, какое кольцо? Ты чё?
They took the wedding ring!
Эти люди украли
Alice's
обручальное кольцо,
wedding
которое
ring.
Элис.
One sec. You mean
Подожди, ты про
burglary? You said
грабителя?
nothing was
Ты
missing.
сказал, что
Yes,
ничего не
yes,
пропало.
I
Да,
know! I know that!
я помню, что сказал.
I
Чёрт,
don't
у меня
know.
была
I was
паника.
jittery. Maybe I didn't. Maybe
Я
I
мог
didn't
просто не
notice.
заметить.
I don't know,
но
but
я сделал глубокий вздох.
that's the worst of it.
Это еще не все.
Calm down, Jack.
Джек,
Breathe.
успокойся.
What
Да
happened?
все глупо
I
еще.
found it in the
Я сколько
trachea
слышал
of the
утром на
deceased I
работе.
was working on.
У трупа в
Do you understand?
трахе.
I pulled it out of a dead woman's trachea.
What?
I don't know what's going on. You think Red Pete wants revenge? He's playing with me. Huh? I knew it. I knew it from the beginning. This is going to happen. I didn't make it up.
Jack, listen to me. Try to calm down. Don't leave the apartment. I'll be with you right away, okay? I'm on my way.
Окей.
What sane person would do something like that? How? And when? When the fuck? Fucking Ridley lets in whoever he likes as usual. What are you saying? Steve? Steven? Don't leave me, man. Come on. Fuck. Oh, God, what now? Okay, calm down.
Сесть за стол и налить себе выпить.
Calm down. I need it. Jesus. What's
У меня есть бутылка
going
искоря.
on?
Вот этот поворот.
Just one sip more. Yep.
Я тоже, пожалуй, сделаю глоточек.
Jesus. Just one sip more. Oh, God.
О, нихуя. Кейпер номер 3. Часть номер 3, да, получается?
All right.
Так, ладно.
I can't do it anymore.
Я больше не могу. Че не можешь?
These reports will kill me one day. I'll have to finish it over the weekend.
А я что-нибудь
It's time to
поздравил.
work. I should take out the
Он
trash
ничего не
first.
берет.
Jesus. Fuck. Maybe I'll just ignore it.
Твою мать.
Yes.
Hi, this is Charlotte. I guess I interrupted you again?
Oh, hi. No, I just... I wrote reports in those last sections, and I was just about to leave for work.
I always know when to call.
Yeah, definitely. What's up? How are you?
I'm good, thanks. What about you?
Okay, nothing new. I had a few days off.
Oh, that's nice. Then... Did you have a moment to look for something for me?
Something for you?
Well... the photo with, the photo I asked you for?
It hasn't come yet? Oh, sorry, but I said it a week ago.
No, not yet. Maybe I'm too impatient. I'm sorry for rushing you. You have so much on your mind.
Фото не
I thought
дошло, нихуя.
maybe you forgot.
It's okay. No worries. With my pills, Pills. I almost forgot to take my pills. So you see,
Yeah.
I have to go now.
Yes, sure.
Let me know if you still haven't received the letter. Then I'll try well, maybe I'll find something else.
Oh, really? Could you? That... It would be great if you could. Really.
Yes. I know it means a lot to you.
Well, I won't hold you any longer. Thanks. Bye.
Спасибо, пока.
Bye.
Bye.
Damn. Did I mess up the address?
Блин-то... Давайте яркость берем.
How am I gonna get those pills? Maybe I should invite Charlotte.
А, нет, яркость надо наоборот сделать. Ну, давайте пока
Do
так.
something yourself.
Вынести мусор? Это реально вынести мусор? Ну. У меня здесь столько мусора, а где мусор, блядь? А, вон. У меня, кстати, есть ноги и рубашка.
Ugh. Why is it so wet? Ugh. I shouldn't be this tired.
Да блядь. Да блядь, сука. Да ну нахуй. Так может инфаркт случиться, блядь. А, вон он, блядь. А я сюда пошел. Закрой дверь в подъезде.
I wonder if Alice's mother has a film of this photo somewhere. I actually hadn't thought about it before. I should call her on Friday.
Сука. У меня тело там лежит не вскрытое, блядь. Ну, вскрытое, но не законченное.
Oh, God. Why do I like sleeping so much? Huh?
It's just me, Jack.
Хуя у него крыша поехала, блядь.
Good afternoon.
Isn't it a bit early for you?
I missed our invigorating conversations. Has Stephen brought the body?
Yeah.
I think I'll get straight to work on this one. Focusing on something will do me some good. Christ, this one's heavy.
А то тело куда делось?
Hey, Mr. Ridley, I need help. I can't lift this bag myself. Ridley! Ugh,
Ой,
it's
блядь.
easy, but at least I can start.
Ты че меня пугаешь, блядь?
new package must have arrived. I guess Dorothy ordered it. I think I'll skip recording a video for the students today. They don't need to see me and the body. Ugh. And they'll still have the accompanying photos anyway. November 27th, 1991, 5:14 p.m. Conducted by Dr. Jack Hanman. James Evans Jr. Evans had previously been convicted of possession of stolen goods, robberies. The body was found naked and mutilated. Clothes, probably. The body was found inadvertently in the woods near Peetsville. The dogs picked up the deceased's father. Police photos show that the body was not even particularly hidden, but only covered with a thin... Sounds disturbing. I wonder what condition the body is in then. I'll start by opening the bag. Fuck. I didn't expect this level of mutilation. This is going to be a dirty job. I'll check through the bag the police left.
Хуя его расчленили, блядь. А какое...
Maybe there will be something worth noting about the victim's clothes. Leather belt, plain gun,
ну это такая
classic
вещь.
jeans. Well, dirty and torn. Certainly not my style. Traces of blood and plasma. Is this? Interesting. Most of the blood is visible around the neckline, mainly traces of soil. It's a bit like the perpetrator's pulled his shirt over his head. The bloodstains don't appear to be related to any injuries on the body. The deceased must have been unclothed before he was injured. Traces of dirt mixed with blood and rubbed leaf litter. Evans must have been crawling, or was dragged along the ground.
Это я не понял, блядь. А что я должен найти-то? Не понял, блядь. Но ничего не подсвечивается. Ну, видимо, на ремне что-то, блядь. Да? Ну и чего здесь? Тут я ничего не вижу. М. Ну, что делать-то, блядь? Я что-то, короче, ничего не вижу, блядь. Счет должен найти, непонятно. Здесь нет ничего, блядь. А здесь. Ну а здесь тоже нет.
Something's stuck
А
here.
вот, блядь.
It looks like some kind of ectasis scale. This could point
Надо
to an
было
animal
направить на
being
нее.
responsible. A lighter engraved with the police insignia. Stolen? Or maybe purchased from a pawn shop? And here, another animal souvenir. It looks different than the previous one. The only thing I can tell from the clothes is that before his death... Okay, I'll take a look at the scales. They seem too different. Dorothy once brought an animal encyclopedia here. She performed an autopsy on an exotic animal smuggler. The guy suffered an accident while transporting illegal animals. Not only were the police needed on site, but it took nearly a day to round up his cargo. Dorothy had a hard time with that case. Did the impact kill him? Or did one of the animals he was transporting do him in? They even talked about it on the news. People were terrified that some reptile would just come out of their can and grab him. Okay, the book.
Лабораторию мне надо. Я пошел куда-то в это сам. Да, блядь. Да, блядь.
Who is this?
Да ну нахуй. Пойду таблетки выпью. На ночь глядя такие, блядь, игры играть. Я чуть не обосрался, нахуй. Я у него галлюцинации, блядь.
All right. Which page was it? Local wildlife. I bet I'll find something here. Oh, that was quick. I wouldn't expect anything else. Not this area. Nile crop. No way. I would expect something. What kind is this? Salt water. Ugh. Christ. Why am I so tired? Some coffee
Ходила.
would be nice.
Нихуя.
What was I supposed to... the pictures. I'll have to show them to Dorothy. Too bad that we no longer keep our ranking. With something like that, I would come out on top. There hasn't been a case like this for a long, long time.
Блядь, его крокодил сожрал, что ли? Полный рост. Вы издеваетесь, блядь?
The deceased skin is smooth and taut. This suggests an advanced stage of decomposition of the corpse. It's unlikely that a human would make such a wound. Nasty. Such a wound could not have occurred during the victim's lifetime. This wound appears to have been made by a sharp instrument.
А то, что головы нету, не надо сфоткать, да?
Interesting. This needs to be investigated further. No head. That's not hard to miss. Oh, and as expected, there's a bite.
Ну там-то схуя, блядь, этого самого крокодила, блядь.
There are also clear traces of the deceased ankles being bound in some way.
А что еще? Вот сюда нету. Что он не фокусируется на нем? Блин, где-то еще есть одна. А где? Ого.
Evans couldn't have tied himself up like that. It looks like some sort of attack or kidnapping. I need to gather my thoughts together. And look, it seems that this, I wonder whether the decapitation took place before or I should inspect the work of animals can be seen here. The question is which ones.
А, погоди, взять доски с фотографией укуса на руке покойного. Это не то. С какой доски? Взять доски укуса. Не, погоди, стой. Да какую? Ай, стой. Что случилось? Погодите-ка. А, ничего не случилось. Все работает нормально. Пока что. Да.
This looks very promising. The bite is clearly visible. It should be easy to compare it with the encyclopedia and identify the culprit. I just need to make it a little bigger. It'll be faster than physically measuring the bite. I hope I put it in right. I can never remember whether it was image up or image down. At university, we didn't have facilities like a fax machine. Ah, fantastic. Practically a one-to-one. Just some tracing paper, a pencil, and I can check these in the encyclopedia.
Использовать кальку в кабинете для дальнейшего изучения. Кальку в кабинете.
Now, did I leave them in a drawer? Or maybe a box somewhere? Ugh. I don't remember if I left them out somewhere. They definitely pay me too little for this.
Так, а калька есть?
Oh,
Ой, ёпта,
looks
есть.
like I can tidy up after myself. Sometimes. Archives. Just as lifeless as the corpses they concern.
Надо подсказки смотреть, а я что-то не обращаю на них внимания, блин.
A very, nature-driven case so far. I'll have to consult the encyclopedia again. Good thing Dorothy left it here. Otherwise, I would have had to run back to my place to get some.
Сравнить укус в энциклопедии. А, пошли. Энциклопедия здесь лежит где-то. Так.
The shape of the jaw appears correct, but not the teeth. That's not it.
Так вот надо сделать. А, все понятно.
Oh, yes. I only need to concentrate on the crocodile chapter.
Не похож, не похож. А, вот это похож.
The shape of the jaw appears correct,
Yep.
but not the teeth. That's not it. It makes sense.
Уже похож.
This would also explain the mold found in the clothes. It turns out that some of the wounds can be safely blamed on local alligators. However, we cannot blame them for the decapitation. It's not these animals we should be afraid of here. I should
Таблеточку
make some
надо.
notes and start the autopsy.
Ему плохенько становится на таблеточку. Угу, таблеточку принялись, пошли дальше. Так, давайте это крайнее вскрытие сделаем.
And look for several stab wounds of varying depth and circumference.
Угу. Так, куда-то.
Mississippi alligator.
Угу.
It's strange that an alligator. The imprints are quite deep and even. From the looks of it, I'd say Evans was restrained with his own belt. It doesn't look good. Evans wasn't decapitated with one cut.
Но это будет сложное вскрытие, блин. Да нет, мы заработаем. Что делать?
It looks like the killer might have missed before they finally hit the neck.
Но это убийство, да, получается?
The result of an animal tearing at its body, eaten skin, soft tissues, and genitals. They're... well, the bite is firmly incorporated into the wound. A photo alone won't help me here. Looks like an uneven bite. It's worth taking a closer look at this. Maybe there will be some remaining teeth marks.
Угу.
Evan's right side must have been more attractive to the crocs and insects. Very strong binding marks. You can see peeled epidermis and small wounds.
Угу.
There's no end to playing zoologist today.
Тело осмотрели. Так, что там надо дальше?
I need a tool with dental impression cement. Can I find it here? No. It's probably lying somewhere around in the lab. I hope the cement hasn't expired.
Пистолет-диспенсер. А
A
вот
month after the due date. That could be worse.
сделайте слепо... паховый орган.
Now I need to cover the bite area. Wait until it hardens. I think it's ready. The cast looks quite contaminated from the other wounds in that area. Well, let's hope the imprint turns out better. Brush, ink, and paper. Similar to taking fingerprints. Paint over the area. And put a piece of paper on it. That's very strange. I'll run it through the fax and check it on the computer. I
Очень
really don't want
факс
to believe what I'm seeing.
отпечаток. Ага.
Loading.
Угу.
What? Wow. This is, well, this is quite unexpected. Human teeth. Oh, fuck. I need to tell this to Stephen.
Нет совпадения. Ага.
Maybe not everything is cataloged correctly.
Так.
not everything is cataloged correctly.
Опять нет совпадений.
Maybe not everything is cataloged correctly.
Да ёпт.
Maybe not everything is cataloged correctly. Loading. It'll probably take a while.
Полицейская база.
Maybe not everything is cataloged correctly. Maybe not everything is cataloged correctly. Maybe not everything is cataloged correctly.
А, ну вот, наверное. А я что-то не посмотрел сразу.
Maybe not everything is cataloged correctly.
Да я понял. Я все проверил. блядь. Отъебись.
It'll probably take a while.
Давай начнем вот отсюда.
Maybe not everything is cataloged correctly.
Нет?
Maybe not everything is cataloged correctly.
Блять.
Maybe not everything is cataloged correctly.
Да ну нахуй.
Maybe not everything is cataloged correctly.
Вот это.
Maybe not everything is cataloged. Loading.
А, вот этот.
It'll probably take a while. Finally. What? The partial impression I have may match several people. Okay, this one is in prison, so he's out. Another in prison. No, here's someone with quite interesting tendencies. No, it doesn't fit. I'm afraid this will remain a mystery. The killer's profile is getting more and more interesting.
Ой, что-то у меня крыса едет. Надо пойти таблетку выпить. Всегда надо пить таблетки. Прошло? А, прошло.
I'm going back to the body. I need to make a note before I start the dissection. You can see that the tool
Башка,
used,
вот
they look
это,
quite shallow.
вот
This wound
это,
turned out to be more troublesome than I thought it would
вот
be.
это,
Maybe
вот
for
это,
tissue.
вот это.
For obvious, I need to vet the abdominal and allocators rib, the perfect breeding ground for larvae. Fortunately, the deceased doesn't care. Time for internal analysis. Finally. First of all, I'll try to determine whether death occurred
Yup.
before with the scalpel, I'll open the deceased's chest. I cut deep, we see a lot of fat tissue under the skin.
Ugh.
When I remove the ribs, I expect to see even more fat on the organs. Correct. High levels of internal fat, organ size above average. The deceased smoked cigarettes. But more importantly, you can see that the lungs have clearly suffered
Укусы.
And this is the culprit. Well, it didn't look like the holes were that deep. Such hemorrhage could have been caused by hitting the chest with a blunt object, or a puncture directly affecting the organ. They appear to be of different depths. Open pneumothorax should be added to this. The deceased could have experienced extreme hypoxia, and, as a result, obstructive shock.
Нихуя.
I wonder what the heart looks like then. The organ is enlarged with fat, but similarly to the lungs, there is a trace of puncture with a sharp object. In pneumothorax, the heart rate increases. In the event of such a wound, this would mean bleeding out faster and more. In turn, a sudden increase in the amount of fluid in the pericardial cavity could lead to cardiac tamponade, which is also a life-threatening condition.
Да я сделал уже.
Evans, however, is remarkably clean, considering this turn of events. This all looks quite disturbing. I wonder, the organ is fatty and enlarged. The beginnings of cirrhosis are obvious. Well, that's it. This time, nothing to write home about. Like most other organs, it is fatty and clearly enlarged, not to mention swollen, partially due to gases, but mainly due to the deceased's lifestyle. I take the organ to the cutting board. The outside is intact. I'm going to check the contents. It sounds like there's an unusually large amount of undigested, and now rotten stomach contents inside. Blood. Evans had to swallow it due to his injuries, which means he was still alive when he was brutally wounded in the chest.
Сильно ударили в грудь, ага, это значит убийство было. Стопудово, блять.
Only the trachea left to be examined. Surprisingly, it's not damaged by the decapitation. I move on to cutting it open. Okay. I carefully cut, and... blood. Just as I expected. Heavens, not only... looks like I can wrap this up. Let me tie this together. After he was abducted, stripped, and tied up, he was dealt several penetrating blows to the chest. Then his head was cut off. Evans was deprived of his genitals, and the body served as an easy meal for the animals. Even though there were a lot of injuries on the body that could cause death, it was the decapitation that ended Evans' life. The animal bites in the limbs occurred after death, so there's no reason to treat these as the cause of death. The damage to the lungs and heart must have led to severe hemorrhaging, so there's no doubt that Evans was choking in bloody convulsions. But it didn't last too long, which I conclude from the small amount of blood in the stomach and trachea. Well. I need to stitch this poor guy back up. What's really bothering me?
О, все?
Something's not right here. Because even now, the organs are relatively clean. The skin around wounds also. It's like, I'll leave these questions for the police to solve. And now,
О, все готово.
I get to head home. It's a fucked up thing. I'll hold off taking long walks in the forest for the near future. I have a feeling that it won't end with just one body.
Сейчас, секунду.
Good night, Mr. Ridley. The body's ready to be picked up.
Sure. Good night.
Отправьтесь на парковку и сядьте в машину.
I think it's the first time in a long time that I finished work at a decent hour. Oh, come on, Buck! When did I get a flat tire? What the fuck? Fuck. I'm going to Ridley's. Maybe he saw something.
Кто-то мне проткнул, блядь, колесо, сука.
Ridley, do you know what happened to my car?
Oh, what happened to your car?
All the tires are fucking flat!
Well, it happens. Don't you have a spare in the trunk?
Spare ones in the trunk. No one carries 4 fucking extra tires. In the trunk!
Jesus, Handman, calm down. I'll call you a taxi.
Calm down? That's a bit of an exaggeration, don't you think? Have you seen anyone around here? Someone strange? Suspicious?
Except you? No.
Funny. I don't find all these jokes amusing, you know.
What jokes? Hammond, what's wrong with you? It's just tires.
Such things are not a coincidence! What's wrong with me? Things keep happening. Last week. And now this?
Just go wait for the taxi, okay? Fresh air would do you good.
Сука,
Neither you
какой.
nor I will do anything about it now.
Neither you nor I will do anything? What have you been doing all day? Surely something like this can't just be overlooked.
Maybe you should go outside and cool down. I'm calling a taxi.
Cool town.
Сука. Въебать бы ему нахуй.
I just want to sleep. It would be easier just to move in and live here. I doubt I'll get reimbursed for the cab.
Так, а сколько стрим-то идет у меня? Это где? А где машина? А что мне надо?
Huh? Damn. It's already late in the good evening. Any news for me? About my car? You know, the flat tires?
No.
No, what? Have you checked the cameras? Anything?
Handman, I cut my teeth working in prison. I know what to do.
What?
There were no strangers hanging around. Maybe you ran over something.
What? All the tires?
Why, possibly. You can congratulate yourself.
Christ.
You should try sleeping more. You've been kind of out of it lately.
That's the first bit of sense you've made all evening.
Good. The body is expected to be ready for pickup tonight, along with your lecture.
What? What? No one...
You still pontificating? Best hurry, don't you think?
Угу.
Ah, fuck me. I don't have the strength for this today. Have I taken my pills today? Did I take it? Or, one more won't hurt.
Ну и вот они. Да что ж ты не берешь ты их? Ну, погодите, он не берет их. Почему-то.
I need to focus. Oh, fuck. I don't have much time. Okay, okay. One by one, Jack. Take it easy. Oh,
Ёпту.
a burning issue indeed. Then I'll move on to the body. Ah, shit. The lecture. I almost forgot. I'm gonna need the camcorder. This is making me nervous.
Не, давайте на этом закончим. Вот это вот мы продолжим в следующий раз. Ну это просто пиздец. Всем счастья, добра, удачи. Подписывайтесь на канал в Дискорде, на канал ВК Play Life, Discord, ВК Play Life, на группу ВКонтакте. Короче, подписывайтесь везде. А над этим телом мы поработаем в следующий раз. Всем счастья, добра, удачи, всем пока-пока.